I think the consistency piece is what's missing in most of society today. And if I can find those people that are consistent, that's who I want to be around. I don't think there's any greater attribute to someone, because what it really speaks to is much deeper than just like, I'm consistent, I show up to the gym. You're going to show up as a friend, you're going to show up as a father, you're going to show up as a husband, you're going to show up as a leader in your community, you're going to show up as all these things that are important.
The concept of gifts. Do you feel that in order to receive the next gift, you've had to steward the first one or the first few correctly? Did you feel like you were stunted in your growth or in your development or you were lost in your life journey until you stewarded what you were supposed to be stewarding and then move on and get something the next challenge?
I've seen this more recently as I've been more intentional about looking backwards and kind of trying to pull some younger guys along who are in situations that I was in 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Or just people who, they might be older than me, but they're like looking for that guidance. And I feel like it's so true that you're not going to get to the great gifts that are further down the road until you just take care of what you already have. All right, fellas. We got Trip. We got Jacob.
Hey.
Two men I deeply respect who are just literally just throwing themselves into everything that they do. You guys have just become just great friends. Jacob, we've known each other since college. You've been on the podcast before. Trip, we were saying before, we got to give Brett a little crap, but we haven't done a podcast with you. This is like a slow drip to a character release in the whole Meat Mafia Noble group, because you will probably be on 100 times by the time we finish doing the podcast. But love you both. Ain't Dead Yet podcast host. Mm-hmm. And we have Muse performance legend.
No. Just a gym guy. Just gym guy with Muse.
Well, it's an honor to have you both on, and I appreciate you guys coming on such last minute. Literally just texted you guys this morning. I think this is going to be one of the best podcasts ever. So, love you both.
Thanks for having us, Harry.
Thank you for having us, man.
All right, I want to get started.
Congrats also to you. Big few months coming up.
Dude, coming up big.
You just kind of, I feel like the more responsibility I take on, I think you guys will resonate with this. The more responsibility I take on, the more it just forces you to be the guy that you've always envisioned yourself being. And so, yeah, it's just, I love that feeling of taking on more responsibility, because I feel like God has equipped me to handle that. I think you guys are the same way.
Crazy concept to think about, right? You've been building for years, right?
Yeah.
Setting these blocks, right?
Yeah.
What if you've been building those blocks to block out people that aren't supposed to be there anymore, so you can focus on what's important?
That's a learned skill, dude. I feel like
it's wild.
How do you guys wrestle with that?
You got to repeat that. It was a little deep for me.
Dude, I've been
too deep, too quick.
I'm telling you.
Hold on, you're already on the energy drink. Should I crack mine?
Yeah.
I'm almost done.
I haven't cracked it yet. So I've been trying to cycle caffeine. Not to get into this shit already, but pardon my language.
I've been cycling some shit.
Oh, legit. Actually, just really trying not to drink caffeine until I go to the gym and like actually feeling the benefits of it. Ooh. But I'll leave it at that. So I'm gonna try to hold off a little bit longer.
Wait
for
it. When you need that
mid-pod. On the concept of gifts, do you feel that in order to receive the next gift, you've had to steward the first one or the first few correctly?
I think so.
And have you ever felt where you've been in a position along those lines? Because I'm sure you're gonna say yes. Did you feel like you were stunted in your growth or in your development or you were lost in your life journey until you stewarded what you were supposed to be stewarding and then move on and get something the next challenge?
Yeah, I think 100%. I feel like I've seen this more recently as I've been more intentional about looking backwards and kind of trying to pull some younger guys along who are in situations that I was in 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, or just people who, they might be older than me, but they're like looking for that guidance. And I feel like it's so true that you're not going to get to the great gifts that are further down the road until you just take care of what you already have. And that's been a huge case for me, because I've stumbled over the little things and forgotten to take care of the little things. And I just always stay on level one when I do that. So I think that there's a lot of power in what you said, for sure. What do you think, Trip?
It's a tough question. I'm still stuck on talking about building blocks to block people out. But here's what I'll say about receiving gifts.
You're pissed because we skipped right over that. I forgot
the fuck out of me, dude.
Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in it. We'll come back to it next week.
Back.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it on season 2.
You know, some good shit I had boiling.
Then
in
go
there.
for it. Then go for it. It's not what I meant by that.
I just forgot. So now we're talking about gifts. Here's what I believe deeply.
Oh, come on, Trip.
What you said couldn't be more accurate. You cannot receive the next gift until, like, whatever you believe in. Again, you guys know me well enough to know, and you know I'm going to say this shit on this show. I don't care if you believe in God, the universe, whatever. Like, whatever your thing is, great. For me, it's God. I don't think God presents you the next gift until you've shown him on a repeated basis that you can steward what he's already gifted you. I've seen that in my sobriety journey so many times. I've seen it so many times. And people, like, they go back and forth on this, like, does God test us? Does the devil test us? I mean, personally, I believe they both do, for different reasons. But I think all those tests are just a setup to receive the next gift. And if you're in the right mind frame and you can see that that's what's happening, I think you can move through these seasons of life a lot quicker. I've also gotten stuck in some crazy seasons of life because I've convinced myself that I was receiving a gift from the wrong team, if that makes sense. The test was from the wrong side. So for me, it's about being in a good mental headspace. And unfortunately for me, that means a lot of isolation where I can have quiet and write things down and decipher whether or not this test or this opportunity, whatever you want to call it, is from God or from the devil, and how I need to appropriately, like, move through it or navigate it. So yeah, I think that you have to steward your gifts appropriately in order to receive the next round.
What are you stewarding now?
Right now, selfishly, myself, man, learning how to love myself. I think that we can dive off into that later, but like more later. But in my journey of pre-sobriety, it's pretty selfish in a lot of ways. But I was also really selfless in a lot of ways. Like I still took care of people. I was still a good-hearted person. I still cared. But when I was using or drinking, I was really selfish. Fast forward into sobriety, it's all about service. It gets pretty much pounded into you. It's like, be of service, help others, sacrifice, all these different things, and it becomes your life. And what happens is you find yourself in certain situations that shouldn't necessarily be service, right? Like, your closest personal relationships shouldn't be a life of service, right, to that person or to that entity.
Do you have an example of that?
Yeah. So, like, in a romantic relationship, right, of any sort, if you get caught in a place where you're trying to be of service to this person, one, they can find that disrespectful, right? Because then they think, like, well, what? Like, do you think I'm broken? Like, that sort of thing. I think that can get tricky. But more so, like, I would say the biggest one's with family. Like, learning to show up appropriately with my family. I've struggled with that deeply. And I think that learning to love myself has meant learning to put up certain boundaries and, not feeling pressured to call 4 people in my family every single day and give them a full life update. That's what self-love is looking like for me. And I mentioned the romantic piece, and the only reason I brought that up is because, like, and this is for young men, like, it's so easy, I think, to lose yourself in a relationship. And learning to, like, maintain yourself in a relationship is so critically important, not just for yourself, but for your partner. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what happened in my most recent situation. I lost myself, therefore I lost the relationship. You know what I mean?
Are you saying, when you say service, are you saying, like, don't idolize the person? Because I think serving in, like, a vacuum, like, in the relationship is valuable. But idolizing the person is kind of where you start to blur the lines of, like, what's healthy and what's not.
Yep. You're not God, they're not God.
Yeah, right.
Right. I think that's what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
And I think that is a piece that I've fallen short in, right, in the past. And learning that, like you guys see the content and kind of where I'm at now and how I'm moving. And if you didn't know me, you'd be
Bulldog.
like, yeah, they'd be like, he's a really selfish human. It might come off as really selfish, but it's coming from a selfless place. I'm just trying to help people the way that I know how now without a filter. Whereas it's been filtered for so long because I was like, I don't want to push the wrong people or the wrong buttons. But everybody that comes to me and wants help, it's because of the side that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's not this side that's like rainbows and butterflies and like, let me hug you to the top. And so I'm trying to lean more into that, but I don't even know if you asked anything pertaining to that. This Newtonic's whacking my brain, dude.
All right, speaking of dating advice, my younger brother texted me after he saw my Instagram story about questions to ask, and he wanted to talk about just advice for people in their guys in their 20s on dating. Two eligible bachelors here for any ladies who are listening.
Yeah, so you're probably not the. You should probably ask you because you're getting married.
Yeah, fuck. We're over here talking about like, can you teach me toes to bar as soon as we walk out of here and shit.
Give us some lessons learned.
All right, here's what I'll say. If you're in your 20s, this is what I believe. If you're a male in your 20s, don't date. That's my belief. That's 100% my belief. Build yourself.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself.
Mission.
Chase God with everything you have. Find out what your purpose is. Pursue that like your hair's on fire. Lift a lot of weights. Eat a lot of steak. Meet a lot of good people. Build community. You will find your partner in that vein. Stop trying to go look for him.
Totally.
That's my advice to them. In your 20s, you don't even know what the fuck you're looking for, man. Because you don't know your purpose. You're not chasing God. You're not doing any of this shit. So my advice is like, set all that down. I think if you put yourself in the right places and you're doing all the right things, you're naturally going to mesh with your person. Think about the greatest relationships you know. Where did they meet? There's like a handful of places.
There's at their spots that they would
church
frequently go to. Yeah.
Right. The gym. Maybe Ladybird. Right, Jacob? Probably not Squatch. Just saying, like, my point is, like, it just depends on what you're into and what you're pursuing. And my advice is, like, find the best things you can pursue, go pursue those things, and then find your person. But don't idolize dating in your 20s, especially for men. Women are different. You guys have the biological clock. I'm not going to speak on it, but it's very real shit. But men, I'm serious, though. It's different for dudes.
I love it, dude.
So if in your 30s, like, sure, go after it. But like in your 20s, dude, no, set that shit down.
Jacob, anything else to add?
No, I think Tripp covered quite a bit there. Definitely the best relationships I've had in my life, I've found in the same environments that I like being in, if that makes sense. When I first moved down to Austin, I thought it was necessary, and I'm sure this applies to most cities. I thought it was necessary that I need to go out on a Saturday night to like meet people, right? And it's not. It's like you can stick to your routine and you can build yourself and you can find the right people in those circles that like align with whatever you're building. I'm not on those. I'm not big into the. If I'm gonna do a chew, I'm gonna
watermelon. I got some Grizzly. You want that?
Pouches?
No. Come on, dude. Anyways, back to your 30s.
Well, in my 30s, all right. So I'm 31. I'm in a very selfish place right now, so I don't really have any dating tips for a guy in his 30s. Because I don't really go on too many dates. I'm just doing me relentlessly. I mean, you see me here. I go to the gym, but I will go on a date. I mean, I have a date tonight, I guess. Yeah. So.
I don't date.
Again,
We're gonna have you on next week to see how it goes.
Again, met the person in like fitness community.
Nice.
Right, in the fitness circle, which is exactly what I'm doing. Right? So
Yeah,
it's just it's your friends too. You're not going to hang out with a dude that's, I don't know, on Rainy Street tonight, are you?
No, totally not.
You're asking me to do toes to bar, right after this. So I think the same can go for women.
Yeah.
And it applies just as easily to your friends.
Yeah. It's interesting how there's kind of this inverse relationship with it, where it's like you're talking about focus on your purpose, focus on your mission. And like inherently, there's some level of that that's self-serving, but if it's done in the right vein, it's serving other people in the process. And like once you've kind of started down that path and started building down that path and have your eyes on what you want to, then it's like, all right, there's probably space for it. But you do have to kind of, I think there's a incredible book, by John Eldridge. Beautiful Outlaw. I am blank. Wild at Heart, and he talks about, man's 3 things that he needs, and 2 of them are a woman and a purpose.
Yeah.
It's like
you want the woman that's in your lane,
yeah,
right? If you're in the right lane, like not right left lane, but like the correct lane. You want the woman who's in that lane though that can respect what you're building and what you're doing. And if she doesn't understand that you pursuing your business, your fitness, your spiritual side, your faith, your family, if those things aren't absolutely critical to her, you don't want her anyway, right? So if you're pursuing the right things, you want the woman who's going to respect those things. Like, it's very difficult too in today's day and age, because you'll meet people that they think they want those things, and then they see what those things actually look like, right? I've came across that a couple of different times where it's like, oh, you're really that way all day. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't fucking 75 hard. This is life.
this is 24/7 hard.
No offense to First Form. I love Andy Frisella. You're the fucking man. But like, and I think that's great for helping people jumpstart shit. But I don't live that way. Like, I have a 90-day counter on my shit right now. Somebody asked me today, I was like, what are you gonna do at day 90? And I was like, fucking 91.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I got a question about that right after this. But like, jokes aside, be yourself 100%, 100% all the time. I haven't always done that. I'm at heart kind of a dickhead. I'm also kind of like silly. Silly's a gay word. I'm all
Silly Massing.
so fucking.
You are silly.
Jacob's super silly.
Like, I'm goofy, dude. Like, I'm goofy. I'm kind of like quirky, right? But I've noticed that's what I went home over this past week to see my friends back home, and it's like that's what they like appreciate about me, right? So it's like when I have dated, I think that's also what recently people appreciate about me. It's like I'm very true to myself, right? And then it can go a long way in relationship building, I think. And previously, I felt like I was hiding things. I was trying to like put on maybe a little bit of a face. It's like, no, this is me. Yeah.
Definitely feels good to be yourself. And I feel like going back to the
It's hard to be.
you're working on
hard
is
to
like
be.
loving yourself.
Yeah.
Which is, as guys, I feel like it's kind of sometimes the last thing. I was talking to a mentor of mine recently. He's like, dude, there are some days where I feel like I'm just like give, like giving everything to other people. And then you just like, you kind of look around and you're just like a skeleton. You need more?
Yeah.
You're so silly.
You're racking another one of those. I'm just messing with you.
You want?
Yeah, I mean, I would love one.
God, dude.
Thirsty,
We're
dude.
taking
How many?
There's not even caffeine in these. I just read it.
No,
there's 120 milligrams.
Natural.
Exactly, and there's nothing.
natural.
Oh, that's
yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Dude, this could be what's this called? Newtonic? This could be a Newtonic commercial.
Shout out to Newtonic.
Yeah. Wow. Just give it a little crack. Sorry, hey, listeners, you're gonna have to bear with us a little bit. We got a lot of. This is a
Cheers.
exceptional room. Hold on, get a little crack.
Yeah,
All right,
if they're
the
not watching. They don't know what's
The
going on.
people want to know what does the day 90 represent? Specifically, Angie wants to know.
What does
Angie and Carlisle.
Girl science.
what does day 90 specifically
Every day
represent?
you post, but like every day you post day 90, day 42. I feel like they don't always go in order.
No, they always go in
Okay,
order.
so what's today? Day what?
Today's 54.
Are you sure? I thought I saw a 90 today.
It is 54 of 90. So like 90 is the
Okay. No,
The
I know what
denominator.
you're saying.
90 is my 35th birthday.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah. And so I made a decision 90 days, not 90,
Okay.
54 days ago. Now you got me all fucked up. 54 days ago,
I didn't.
where
It's
I
the
was just
caffeine,
like,
bro.
look, bro, I want to be my best version of myself that I've ever been on my 35th
Oh, yeah.
birthday.
Okay.
And I'm gonna break myself off to get there. But then I fell in love with this new routine. That's the problem.
You're in full monster mode. You both are.
Give us the daily routine.
Dude, you want it?
Not
Hold
super in depth. Give us like if you were to do a 30-second Instagram reel. Why don't we do it right now?
I want to know.
What's the
both
daily?
your guys.
This is a crazy. This is a crazy piece of content. You ready? We're live. We're live with Harry. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Give us the
30
daily
seconds.
routine.
Wake up before 5. I have coffee, 2 scoops of Noble. overnight oats provided by Simply Plan Austin. Shout out Matt Loopy. It's a great meal prep service. I leave there. Don't tell me to speed up, dude. 30 seconds is fucking crazy. I go lift, morning session. I come back. I eat lunch. I work, handle my business. I go lift again in the afternoon, usually some cardio. I come home. I eat, spend time with my dog. I go the fuck to sleep. That's the 30-second clip.
Fun. Good. Pretty accurate.
Is that your
35.
perfect day? Realistically?
No.
If
That's the 30-second version.
If you guys give me both your
Generally,
guys'
you probably do
perfect
95% of that every single day.
Yeah, without question.
Okay.
Perfect day, go. What's your perfect day, bro?
We're still on you. Harry's got follow up there.
No problem. Perfect day for me, man. I would say it starts with how I wake up. I'm very particular about how I wake up. Good example, last night there was a tornado that rolled through probably, 20 miles north of me. And it was loud, thunder, lightning, text was my dog's freaking out. So like 2 a.m. we're up, 1:30, something like that. And I was up with him for an hour and a half, just making sure he was good. Knowing that I got to wake up in a couple hours, and that's probably not going to be the best feeling. So I think preparing for it. But when I wake up, it's so important to me that like I take probably 3 to 5 minutes. I don't touch anything. I don't do anything. I literally force myself to be still and talk to myself about what kind of day I'm going to have. That's so important to me. If I feel like if I just hear an alarm and I get up and I rush and I don't take that moment to really set myself up for the day, my day goes sideways quick. So that's important. Time with my dog in the morning is important before any of the work stuff starts happening. I have the podcast, obviously, and then we have the construction business, which is a totally different vein and need and draw of my time. But I've figured out how to time block things at this point in my life where we were talking about being selfish. Like I won't answer certain calls during certain times of the day. Like I just refuse to. My phone stays on Do Not Disturb 95% of the time. I learned that from your co-host, which it pisses me off. But like, dude, it actually works because there are a lot of people that, like, no offense if you're listening to this and you're one of those people that I screen the shit out of your calls. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not. You know what I mean? I got shit to do, and I don't want your input on my day. So the quieter my day is, the better. I'll put it that way. There's only certain people that I want to let into that space, and it's people that I know are pushing themselves or driving themselves to a better tomorrow, like chasing this term of betterment. Like shout out to Chad Sandrigan.
A muse, so to speak.
Yeah, I can talk to you. I can talk to you. I can talk to Brett. I don't want to hear somebody bitch though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just don't. I got plenty of bitching to do. So it's all about headspace for me. Working out in the morning is important to me.
Yeah.
I'm in this like new space of where I can lift. I can prioritize lifting. I ran 60 to 70 miles for 3 years straight, a week, like 10 miles a day, 8 miles a day, just over on repeat. And like, I'm out of that wheelhouse now. I like being able to lift weights. I've really like fallen in love with that again. And that feels good to me. But really it's at my perfect day. Again, it's every day when I go to sleep, figuring out like, have I learned to love myself more today? And that's been hard.
Love yourself more today. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And finding ways to do that. And people will say like the cliche shit, like do what the little 5-year-old inside of you wants to do. Like the 5-year-old inside of me wants to go back and like hug his dad. Right. I can't do that shit. So like we do something different. You know what I mean? That advice doesn't work for everyone.
Toast the bar.
What does love yourself actually look like?
I think for me, it's learning that if I'm being the best man I can be, no one else's opinion of me fucking matters. That's what loving myself looks like. Because I've spent the majority of my life people pleasing, trying to fit into different crowds, not being myself. Like I don't like, especially living in Austin, it's tough. You go to these events and you're like, I've been to these like influencer events and shit, and I'm like, it's not me, dude. I want to like sit with the boys, talk shit, lift weights, eat steak, go home, hang out with my chocolate lab. I'm a simple fucking guy. You know what I mean? So loving, like doing the things I that are important to me is loving myself. But really at the end of the day, I think that it's learning that if you're really, really, really doing your best, then fuck what anyone else has to say, because we're all flawed. If I spend any of my time worried about like how Jacob's failing, I'm not bettering myself, right? And so you have to think about it that way when people are judging you or they have negative opinions. Like, they're not chasing betterment. They got too much time on their hands. So you can't take those words and let them eat you up. It's like this old adage, I think it's probably Jamaican, dude. I had this Jamaican guy that worked for me all these years. It's probably not Jamaican, but he used to say this shit all the time. He'd be like, in the boat, man. He's like, you let the water in the boat. He's like, the boat sinks. He's like, but the water stays outside the boat floats. Mm-hmm. Keep all that shit outside, man.
That's a great adage.
He said it a lot
Very,
cooler.
Very simple.
Shout out to Jamaica. Yeah.
Jacob, perfect day.
Oh, gosh. What I'm doing right now, truthfully.
It really does seem like you literally just hit the repeat button, rinse, repeat, and it is like your form of perfect day.
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't say I have envisioned this day all my life, but I've just worked hard over the past few years. I've had some good breaks, and I'm at a point in my life where I just have the freedom to pursue what I want to do every day, right? Like the freedom at work, the freedom physically, the freedom across the board. So
Love that.
I wouldn't change anything right now.
Can I say something to him real quick?
Yeah.
Rip it.
And I'm pretty sure I've said this before on the Ain't Dead Yet podcast, but there are very few men that I look up to. Very fucking few. Like few and far. He's one of them. Like his name gets brought up in any circle. I'm like,
Dog.
Thanks, dude.
Dude,
Appreciate
you're one
it.
of the baddest motherfuckers I've ever came across in my entire life.
Thanks, man.
And you inspire me. Like, I don't want to fucking push every day.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, this fucking asshole's pushing somewhere. So, like, let me get to it. That's from a place of love, dude. And I don't give people those flowers. Like, fuck them. But you deserve them, man.
Yeah. Thanks. Very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. I wrote some questions down beforehand.
let's do it.
Just I don't usually do note card questions, but I figured we could do a little rapid fire, or we can click into these if we need to. All right.
Are those 5x8?
We're studying for an exam here. Is there a moment in your life that you think changed how you decided to live?
I've been asked this before. I haven't thought of anything. I haven't noticed anything recent, or haven't thought of anything in my life thus far that's changed my trajectory or thinking or view. No.
Man.
You've got one.
I've got plenty. But I think, my whole life is comprised of moments, right? Where there's been a change in trajectory. Like, and I'm not saying like, 90 or 70 degree changes, but like maybe a degree here, a degree there. And I think all of those together kind of create the trajectory that you're on now, whatever that is. Some of them have been harder hitting, I guess you could say, or they like flip you in a completely different direction, but most of them are small. And truth be told, most of my change in life has come from pain. So like the painful moments have shifted me and my perspective much more than happiness and success. And so I would say, like, people talk about chasing failure all the time. I really don't think most people know what the fuck that means, but find places to fail and fall short and find pain, and your trajectory it has to improve.
I love it. All right. You've got the Ain't Dead Yet podcast. You've got Muse. Who are the archetypes of people that you guys are trying to speak to with your guys' core message?
Dudes who are out there, doesn't matter how old you are. Dudes who are out there that feel like they have incredible unlocked potential. Like they have so much passion, vigor for life and what they're doing, but what they're doing right now isn't getting them what they think it should be getting or what they deserve. And learning to be okay with that, and then find out what you're supposed to be doing.
I've got a follow-up question, but I'm going to let Trip get in here. Trip?
I think for me, it's the same as what it started as. Is I want to find the people that are afraid, to ask for help, that are afraid of their own truth, and give them a safe place to know that you can, like, I think part of the reason I push so hard on like the masculine side or try to be like tough is because I want to show people you can come from this like incredibly vulnerable, weak place and build to this. And so most of the people I'm trying to get to are in a pretty vulnerable spot. And I want to show them that like you can get out of that. So like I don't pursue a lot of the hard asses, you know what I mean? Like they're good.
Yeah.
I want the guy who's on his last string and it's tearing. And I want him to come fucking move into my house. And I want to put him on a program. Like that's what the fuck I want. Like that's the shit that fires me up. So, you know, I don't.
It's a good business idea, man. Really
I mean,
good.
dude, I'd hate to tell you how many people I've moved into my house, but like, it's like,
No, but if you,
that is what it is. They're called sober living, but like rehab, but like, yeah,
but it's like your own style.
it is.
It's like I'll whip you into shape.
It is, man. But it's really about finding the
You ever been
person
to Lift
who,
ATX in July?
yeah, this year.
Yeah.
I bet not.
Yeah.
But I just want to find the people that like really don't know if they're going to make it through today. And I want to go like grab them, like, you know, you see like a mom dog, like grab their fucking puppy by the back of the neck. I want to grab them by the back of their neck and just fucking pull them out of that. That's what I want. That's my target audience.
All right. What message do you guys have for each of those archetypes, the people that you just described?
You go. You're fresh.
You ain't dead yet. That's,
Yes.
that's
perfectly
I
branded.
mean, that's what the
Yes.
fuck.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally perfectly branded. And I want to add to, you know, people listening to this, I would love for you guys to go down rabbit holes on both these guys because I admire them both so much. But just the amount of energy that you guys have already put into what you're building and how much great things that are going to come from it, the amount of people that you guys are going to change. I look at you guys, I'm like, and I feel like similarly like this about kind of stuff that we're doing, like we're in inning 1 or maybe even just stretching. Like I think the impact that you two are going to have is going to be incredible.
You're at trim still.
Yeah,
You're still up at trim.
literally a nice little trim
Pre-game meal.
snack.
You're at a pre-game meal.
Shout out Babson College.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of admiration, what's a trait that you guys admire in people that you look up to?
Consistency.
I'm simple, man, too. Like
Retweet?
yeah, like
So hard, man.
it's hard. It's fucking hard. It's so easy to. It's so easy to show up a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to show up sporadically, but I think the consistency piece is what's missing in most of society today. And if I can find those people that are consistent, that's who I want to be around. I don't think there's any greater attribute to someone, because what it really speaks to is much deeper than just like, I'm consistent, I show up to the gym. It's you're going to show up as a friend, you're going to show up as a father, you're going to show up as a husband, you're going to show up as a leader in your community, you're going to show up as all these things that are important. And I think that's what consistency really like represents for me. And the greatest letdowns in life are when you believe in others' consistency and they're not. You know what I mean? That hurts. That has hurt me more than anything in my life, right? When I look at even childhood stuff, it's like wanting someone to be consistent and them not able to do it. Or in other familial relationships or partnerships or romantic relationships, like wanting that consistency and then it not being there. So I don't think there's any better attribute, dude. You hit it.
Scott Hatch, who you both know, we recorded a pod like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and our eyes like lit up because we were talking about just being committed to something and how few people are actually committed to something. I feel like that just like ties so perfectly into the consistency conversation where it's like, you know, when you're talking to a guy who's committed, he's going to say no to the things that he shouldn't be saying yes to. And he's going to be doubling down on all the things that are fueling that commitment. And there's something powerful about just like knowing kind of black or white, like where someone stands on things.
The pain of saying no is much greater than the pain of whatever you're going to put yourself through on the way to your goal. Saying no is fucking hard. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost. That shit is hard. Like being like, oh, you want to go get ice cream after this? Like, yeah, but fuck no. You know what I mean? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That workout, like saying no is hard for me. It's something I've had to beat into my system. And so I think that's really what the commitment piece is. And I want people around me that will die for what they believe in, like literally stand on it. And if you've never had that conversation in the mirror, then like we don't vibe check, man. So
I love it.
You know what I'll stand for?
What?
A little gym sesh.
Little gym session, 20, 25 minutes. All right.
Angie's going to put you through it.
is she here today?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. I called her about toes to
Absolute
bar advice.
legend.
She tell you?
No, she didn't.
I called her like in the middle of the day yesterday. I was like, teach me some shit real quick. Practice. Next.
All right. Next note card. What's been your biggest personal accomplishment in your life?
The relationship with my sister.
Mm.
My sister, Caitlin. She's my older sister. She's my best friend, I would say. If no matter what, probably the first person I'm calling for anything is Caitlin. And I would say on most things she feels probably the same way. Probably maybe on her career stuff. She's like, yeah, get out of here. But no, definitely my relationship with my sister.
What's gone into that?
Consistently hanging out with each other, seeing each other, right? Like you can lose, your relationship can dwindle or deteriorate if you only communicate virtually, digitally. You don't see them and you don't spend time together and you don't like feel each other's energy, right? Or you're not just in each other's presence. So every year she comes down here once and I usually go to her place twice a year in Virginia and we'll just sit there. I'll go to the gym, I'll come home, make food, sit on the couch for hours, do nothing. It's like the type of thing I would want to do here by myself, but we can do it together. So it's been fun. She's got a great dog too.
Dude, it's amazing how, I mean, it doesn't sound like a ton of effort, but in the course of a year, it actually is a lot of effort to make that intentionality and carve out that time. But once you're there, it's literally just like refills the cup immediately.
Right, especially when you're committed to something and you're trying to stay consistent. Like sometimes traveling can be a pain, especially for a lifestyle that we like to live, right?
Yeah.
But you have to make, I feel like it's like, I forget who I heard say it, but someone said it's like the 97% rule. 3% of your year, 5% of your year you're dedicating to people you want to build those relationships with, right? Spending that time with. The other time, you can go psycho mode.
Well, if the people around you don't understand, I mean, that Miami trip's a good example. I told Brett, I was like, I'm going to work out, I'm going to go to Sun Life. I'll go eat steak at night. Like, this is what the fuck I'm going to do. That's what I did.
Fuck yeah.
But the right people around me.
And you did just that.
The right people around me, and they're like, hell yeah, dude, have a blast. Like, go kill it. You were there. Like, everybody's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of did their own. That's how it should be, bro.
I also think that, sorry to cut you up, I was just going to say, I appreciate what Donnie just said, because I think that there's a lot of young guys who really look up to you guys, and just hearing like, hey, you got to like have these buckets that you're in full commitment to your workouts, your lifestyle, the way that you're pursuing your goals, but then also committed to making that time. So I love that.
Stay flexible with it too, though.
Yeah.
Things change, things evolve. You might be seeing progress in one area and it's time to take energy out of somewhere else and be more rigid, right? But you got to remain flexible, right? Maybe work's calling you. You're seeing a lot of progress at work, but you're like, oh, I've been spending as much time at work as I should be, right? Well, maybe it's time to reevaluate, put more energy there.
Yeah.
It's something I try to take pride. I take pride in. I'm constantly reevaluating where my energy needs to go. If I see things slipping, like, come on, Donnie, like put some energy back there. Stop slipping, right? And other things have to take a back seat. But I think when you do that over time, it compounds and you get to a point where it's like you're happy and like you're maintaining. And if you want to add energy, you add energy somewhere else. But otherwise, you're in a good space.
Love it.
Yeah.
Trip.
Sorry, that's just a frame of mind.
No, it's great, man. I
it.
think it's going to help a lot of people.
life.
Actually, people probably
Mindset.
hear that. That's really good.
My grandma used to say adaptability is the key to life, and I think it's like, I mean, being flexible is a strength. Like, bend, don't break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that question for me, like truth be told, I wiped my slate 54 days ago or whatever it was. I had a pretty, we'll call it like life-changing for me moment. And I wiped everything clean. It was like, yeah, I'm almost 5 years sober. That's great. Yeah, I lost 100 pounds. Yeah, I did an Ironman. Yeah, I ran 200 miles in 7 weeks. Like I wiped all that shit. It's like, doesn't fucking matter anymore. It's next. And my greatest accomplishment in life, I think, is being here today. And knowing the places that I've been in my own head and the places that I could be right now that aren't inclusive of sitting here with you guys. I think my greatest accomplishment is just being here. And I think people need to hear that too. Like sometimes that's the win, dude. Not being in the fucking ground. So I think that that's my greatest accomplishment, but I don't want to ever put limits on what's possible either. Like I don't want to set a target even in my own mind anymore. Like that's why I haven't signed up for any races or anything like that this year. Like I'm just like, I'm going to push as hard as I can and let whatever unravel. Like let it be what it's going to be. And that's very hard for me to do, but it's also freeing. So I don't know what my next accomplishment is going to be or my biggest accomplishment. And again, like me being here is my greatest one right now. And if I have the opportunity to help somebody today, tomorrow, the next day, like that's my greatest accomplishment of that day. So like, that's it. Yeah.
You guys feel like there's, I feel like the topic of mental health with guys is pushed in two directions. One where it's like, feels like it's a little bit too cupcakes and rainbows. And then there's another one that's, just ignore it completely. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to get your guys' take on just like, how do you keep yourself mentally fueled to continue to go after and take on life?
You want to go?
Yeah, I mean, mine's probably not PG, but yeah, I mean, I've multiple times in my life battled with like suicidal ideation and thought about ending it. And this is why it's so critically important, and I can only speak for men, to have something, a why, a purpose, something greater than yourself.
Use.
Because if you don't, there's plenty of there's too much space there in the mind for you to make a bad decision. Like you have to be able to click to that thing where it's like, no, I can't do that. Right. And here's why. I think that my issue around mental health, and this is like a hard thing to talk about because I don't want to ever discount someone's battle, but it's almost become like so like culturally like celebrated, if that makes sense, almost like where it's like everything's about that.
It's like another bumper sticker.
Yeah. And like what I want to say to people, like, and this sounds fucked up, man, but it's like, well, have you thought about killing yourself in the last week? Because if you haven't, shut the fuck up. Like that sounds horrible. But like that's where my head's at, because there are people that you're going to come in contact with today that are just trying to get through today.
Yep.
Right. And that is real fucking mental health. And I'm not discounting anyone's feelings. Like I hear you. You can have feelings and you're rightfully so. But there's these like buzzwords that have been attached to mental health too. Like, like whether it's trauma or it's, fucking every male walking the earth is a narcissist now. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not true. Yeah. Right. All these different things. And it's because everyone's learning about it through Instagram.
Yeah. Everyone's getting programmed.
And the reality is like real mental health. I think we have to get to a place where it's okay to talk about it, but we shouldn't glamorize it either, right? It's a very difficult line to walk, I think. And I think just for me, it's like there's levels to this shit. That's how I'll put it.
Yeah. I think when you show up in love around this conversation, you can discern between who's kind of just saying it to be a part of this like whole, I would say like external validation around kind of maybe just going through some tough times versus somebody who's really struggling.
Yeah.
I can't say I have ever had suicidal thoughts, so I don't want to sound like a softie, but I feel for you, man, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
For me, what down looks like, I guess, if we'll go down there, it's like I'll be in a groove, 2, 3, 4 weeks, right, where it's just flying progress, making progress here and there, waking up every day motivated, feeling like I have a sense of purpose, and then all of a sudden, Monday, Tuesday, on a random week, everything's wrong, self-destructive, way too reflective, right? Like reflecting on everything I'm doing. Oh, is that the right? Should I message that person? Am I creating content the right way, right? Am I training the right way? Should I be working with someone different? And it's like, where do these thoughts come from? And it bogs me down. And it bogs me down for 2, 3, maybe 4 days. And for me, the only way to get over it is to just keep going. Time and time again, like I've learned, it's like you just have to revert back to what you were doing. What were you doing before this all started to happen? Like, just keep doing that. And eventually you see this like crazy cycle you get on, and you're like, why am I even thinking this again? I know exactly what's going to play out here.
You know what's terrifying though? This is really actually fucking good that you're saying what you're saying. I think what you just shared will probably help 99% of people. I do.
What? The fact to just keep doing
Just keep
what you're
fucking
doing.
going. Yeah. Just keep fucking going.
That's what knocks people out of the game.
Just keep fucking
I've heard
going.
like Brett or you guys talk about the analogy of people whose podcasts stick, right? It's like they just keep doing podcasts. It's an analogy for life, right? It's like what knocks people out of the race, I feel like, and this is my opinion, this is not scientifically backed, but like what knocks people out of the race and puts them into a really dark spot is that they let that first bout or that first or second bad week wipe them off the map. And if you're pursuing something and you let that wipe you off the map, that can be detrimental, right? It can be like, my life's over. I have nothing else to work for now, right? So to like sum it all up, just deal with that bad week, deal with those 2 or 3 bad days. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, I'll say this to that too, man. I think that's so great that you shared that. I've been in a season where, and I'm sharing this because if there's somebody else out there that if it's real to them, it's real to them. Most of my cycles have been very similar to what you just described, where I can work my way out of it. Mm-hmm. Dude, this groove that I've been in the last 54 days, I haven't been able to work out of it yet. I'm still having the same doubts, the same struggles, the same thoughts driving down the road. Like all that shit is ever present. And I'm wondering when the fuck is it going to click, right? The thing that keeps me going, though, is what you said. Like, I know I'm closer today to being better than I was yesterday. I don't know what the fuck that looks like, and I don't know how long that is. But I know I'm closer. And so it's just like, if you're out there and you're in this phase and you hear like, a week of hard work, you'll pull yourself out. Like, usually that is the case. Always. Like, yes. But there are seasons of life where it's just like, this shit ain't lifting, dude. I've leaned into everything I could possibly lean into, and it's still heavy and it's still dark. And it's like, all I can do is push harder. I know that's people don't want to hear that. They're like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And like, that's fucking great for them. The only thing that gives me relief is pushing. And I'm just hoping that like one day, soon, it'd be great to wake up and just be like, okay, we're back. Like, here it is.
Baseline.
Yeah, back to baseline. I don't want to be high. You know what I mean? I just want to be here. And for the viewer saw that, but like the listener, like here is what he just said. I just want to be at level. I don't want to be constantly fighting to get back to that. So just keep fucking going. That's all that's it. There's no other answer.
Amen.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people struggle with this idea of like what the destination looks like where they're going. It's a super cliche, but it's like, oh, everyone like, puts in all this work. They get to the point where they were like shooting at and they realize that It was all about the journey. It was all about the process, which I think everyone who's going after something fully realizes in the moment they're going after whatever they're going after. But it's easier said than done. And I think that like it is tough to like truly enjoy the process when you're feeling negative thoughts or, you know, real life hits and you have other people involved with how you're managing your life and your lifestyle. And those are like real relationships and real feelings. Is I think like the idea of getting to a destination is almost a false promise, but you need those destinations along the way to help you pull yourself to kind of the version of yourself that like we're kind of all talking about, like the person whose gifts are being exemplified or like, you know, pulled out and able to be like used and utilized by other people.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good.
Wow.
What
Just on that note, on consistency, all the above. We got one more question to me, Harry, and then I got to
get a little
I got a little weakness max in. Yeah. Trip does too. He's got to do some toaster bar.
I'm about to get after it a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
Squatch needs more of you.
I'm wearing bar. Yeah, it's good.
I need to get a rain after this real quick.
What is a rain? Energy drink?
Yeah, 300 milligrams real quick.
Quick
What were you
slap.
about to say about consistency? You're about to...
No, just the fact that we had made one more question.
Oh, I love it.
We've got 12 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I got like one more question. I got to get over there.
Let's get him over there.
All right, let's get him a good question then.
You have a question?
Listen, don't interfere in my training time.
There's nothing I want to know about you that I haven't asked you. That's just
fine.
me.
All right.
Not from a place of love.
All right. So, all right.
Hey.
We're done with the question. I thought you had more.
No.
No, it's all right.
No,
we're
we're
good
good.
then. All right.
Yeah.
My bad. I wasn't. He had like a stack over there. I assumed he
I had a thick stack, but we kind of rolled through them all.
rolled through them all.
Yeah.
man.
Okay, well, I'll ask you a question.
All right, we got
So we don't have to.
No, we do. Let's put a
we got
little.
margin for one more
Let's
question.
put some money in the pot, dude. Not literally, but like,
Okay.
let's go around. What's one thing we can all commit to right now that makes us a better version of ourselves so that we can be a better version for the people around us? And let's commit to it and hold each other accountable to it.
Okay. Why don't we post it later? It's a lot of thinking we have to do on the spot.
Do you think is yours a physical goal? Is it a
It can be anything.
okay?
You have to find, I believe, so physical's easy for me.
Yeah, you think mental's the more challenging one.
Mental's the hard one for me. Physical's easy. I can go break myself off 24/7. The mental, emotional side is harder for me to really dial it in.
Yeah, 100%.
What about you? Would you agree with that, or are you flipped?
No, definitely. I think everything for me flows through physical. Like, if I'm dialed in physically, everything else kind of
You're good.
feels easier.
Yeah.
That's like physical is definitely the easiest.
What can I improve on mentally? Something to do with negative thoughts? Like trying to identify them better? I mean, I know it's like, how are you guys going to hold me to that? But,
Yeah,
I mean, I can give you my word.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll text you guys once in a while. How about that?
Yeah,
I
that's
love
great.
that.
I'll text you
I
guys
like
once,
that.
at least once or twice over the next 2 weeks. I'll text you. Like, what's a crazy negative thought I just had?
Yeah.
That's
And
what
you
I
caught it,
Yeah,
right? I think that's great.
Oh, I got one.
You got a question?
A negative thought or
Negative thought.
Okay.
yeah, I want to reach out to people that like. I feel like I do make a lot of time and space for people, but I also I think can do a better job about like really being in people's lives and not just kind of letting it be like meet me here once a week and kind of just like creating space for stuff, which I think is really healthy and really good, but like
Going a step further.
penetrating like
Yeah, I
get
agree.
in there.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Following that.
Let me reshift. I think for me, mine's got to be mental, emotional for sure. Like I said, the physical side's whatever.
Cakewalk.
Yeah. I think for me,
Fucking cakewalk.
I'll tell you this. I want to commit to consistently sleeping.
Kind of physical.
Yeah.
Well, I fail at it pretty bad, but it affects my mental deeply.
Yeah, true. Dude, sleep is crazy.
Sleep's a whole different series,
That's
but
where it all
like,
starts.
okay, no sleep then. Fuck it, I won't sleep. Let's say, I'll tell you what would be a good one. I need to be much better at not writing people off.
Fair.
Like I will write people off before I try to hold them
You
accountable.
do so well in New England, man.
Yeah,
You should move to Selfie.
you might be he's from New Hampshire or something.
Yeah.
I just have a bad case of the
Should be
fuckets right
Seabrook,
now in
New
this
Hampshire.
season of my life, dude.
Say it again.
I just have a bad case of the fuckets.
Yeah, it's fine. I do too. A little
It's
bit.
like, oh, you're not gonna keep your word. All right, fuck it. Like moving on. Like, and it's bad. I could be better at that. And I'll text you when that
Trip
happens.
was on my case. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get there at 5:45 in the morning. It was like 5:50. I'm like, yeah, I'm right down the street, guys. What happened at 5:45?
I was there at 5:31. I was pissed,
Sitting in
and I
his car.
drove 50 minutes.
You're savage, dude.
No,
That's why I'm hanging out with you.
Hey,
no.
Because I'm trying
Then
to
you
get
punished me on the track.
well, good.
Yeah, I never
Goes
stopped
both-
running.
Goes both ways.
I was
You
gonna
didn't-
just keep fucking running, I guess.
you two are both legends, and I think you guys are both in unique seasons of life where you are modeling out the person that you've always wanted to be. And I just want to encourage you guys to, make space for the right people, but just keep going. You guys are, I think a lot of people are being drawn into the way that you guys are carrying yourselves right now, and it's exciting. So I
You too, Harry.
appreciate you guys coming
And
on the pod.
Brett.
And Brett too. You and Harry, Brett.
Getting married in a week.
Yeah, what is it with you guys? Did you guys just
Caught
get
the
together
bug.
last year and not tell anybody that you guys were just going to do this shit?
Caught the bug.
Well, okay. We'll hang out, dude. You know what I mean? High five. Don't leave me fucking hanging. Thanks.
All right, fellas, if you're listening to this podcast still, go check out Muse and Ain't Dead Yet podcast. These guys are legends. Love them both. So thank you guys for listening.
Muse.
Ain't dead yet.